How's everybody today? Good. Good. Well, I see our players making a little bit of progress and some improvement each and every day. Um, we got a little rain today, so we had to go inside, which made the conditions for them a little bit easier, I think. It's a little easier for them to focus. But I think the number one thing that I'm trying to get the players to understand is mature competitors can go out there no matter what the circumstance, what the situation, playing home, playing away, crowds against you, crowds for you, hot, cold, whatever it is, and you can focus and do your job from an effort standpoint, from a mental toughness standpoint, from a responsibility to execute, know what to do, how to do it, and be able to focus on that in that particular time. And the best way to do that is, do it every day in practice, regardless of what the circumstances are in practice. So the passion and perseverance that it takes for every guy to challenge himself to be able to do that, especially young players. We played a lot of young players around here in the past, and they've done a fantastic job for us. But that's the thing that they have to show that they can do. Have the maturity as a competitor to be able to stay focused in critical times so they can do their job consistently for the team. And that's what we're trying to evaluate, because this fall camp is all about how many guys can we put in a position that can help us play winning football, that we're going to invest our time in and coach. And every day in practice, especially when the scrimmages come, we're making those kind of evaluations on all the personnel. Because when camp is over and we start playing these games, those are the guys that we're going to have to invest our time in. So there are some young guys out there that have shown that at times. But for us to have the kind of depth on our team that we need to have, we're going to need some of these guys to step up for us in certain places, certain positions on the field. And that's what we're trying to get evaluated, right now. We're very, very sorry to hear of the passing of John Saunders, and I just want his family to know our thoughts and our prayers with his family and friends. He was a first-class gentleman and a first-class journalist, and someone that we always really enjoyed working with, and very, very sorry to hear, about his passing. We have done everything that we can do institutionally to allow the conference to make the decision about whatever they decide is in the best interest of the conference and the SEC rules relative to Maurice Smith. So that is past us now. It's beyond us. So we don't really need to talk about that anymore, and I don't have any other comments, to make about it. So we're trying to focus on the guys that we have here and what we need to do to help those guys have a chance to be successful.
Start right up here with Mark Burnett. First, we saw Joshua Jacobs limping around a little bit out there. What's his status with him, and what's his injury update?
He has a little thigh contusion, but I think he'll be just fine in a day or two. He's day to day. He actually practiced one day with it, and then we decided not to practice him for a day. So we're just trying to get some of the swelling out, and then I think he'll be fine.
Far side with Matt.
Coach, what have you seen from Kendall Sheffield and Bradley Bozeman through the early part of camp? How have they looked?
Bradley Bozeman has done a really good job. I thought he had a really good spring. He's a tough guy. He's really understands, can play center guard or tackle for us. So we're really pleased with the progress that he's made. He gives us a lot of depth at a lot of different positions. Kendall Sheffield, I think that, we just keep trying to work reps so that he can play his position with a little more naturally instinctive sort of reactions, and he certainly has a lot of ability, and we're certainly trying to bring it out of him in every way that we can. But it's right now it's a work in progress, and he is making progress. But we certainly would like to be able to sort of enhance that with a little better coaching on our part.
How unique is it to have a player of kind of the size and skill set of Brandon Green? What does it mean to the offense to have a player like that in that role?
Well, Brandon really last year couldn't hardly focus on, we had him playing tackle, we had him playing tight end, so it was tough for him to focus. And this year, this spring, this fall camp, this summer, we said, hey, look, you're going to be a tight end. And I think to have a guy like that at that position certainly creates a lot of problems because he's a mismatch player in the C area. And I know it gives us some problems in practice, when he's in there, when he's blocking outside backers. And the guy's very athletic, and even though he's not real fast, he's got really good hands, and he's somebody that you can throw the ball to, and he can be hard to tackle. So I think he's lost a little bit of weight, not a whole lot, but I kind of like where we are at that position. That position was a concern for us a year ago. O.J. Howard always being an outstanding player and somebody that we could count on, but not having a second guy that could be a blocker and kind of a guy that could complement him. I don't think that's the issue, and I like the way our young guys are coming along at the position as well. So I feel a lot better about the tight end position.
In terms of his development, what would you like to see from Calvin Ridley this year? And he seems to be another guy in a long line of successful wide receivers that you've had from the state of Florida. How much of that is by design, and how much is that it's kind of just worked out that way?
Well, I think it just works out that way. There's a lot of great players in Florida. We've been very fortunate here to, get a couple of them each year, and they've been very, very productive for us, and it's been a really good recruiting area for us. But it's not necessarily that we go there and look for just one position. We'd like to recruit any good player that they have there, and we have other good players from there, Eddie Jackson and other good players that have been very productive, at other positions. So, but Calvin Ridley, he's one of those guys that I talked about, mature competitors, young guys. He showed that last year and was very, very productive, made great improvement throughout the season, and ended up having great production, made a lot of big plays. He's a hard guy to cover. He's gotten a little bigger and stronger, and certainly has big play potential, and I have not seen, any sort of attitude out of him that, I'm still not working hard, I'm still not trying to get better. I mean, he's doing all the things that he needs to do to be sort of a dominant player at his position, and hopefully we'll be able to see great production from him this year.
How have the running backs progressed so far, and how important is experience at that position?
Well, we've had some guys here that have not had experience that played as freshmen that were very, very productive, whether it was Mark when he was a freshman, and Trent when he was a freshman, Eddie when he was a freshman, TJ Yeldon when he was a freshman. I mean, they all played when they were freshmen extremely well. So experience and knowledge helps at every position, but I think that these guys have made nice progress, and I think they're very capable, and we just have to see how it goes when they get the opportunity in a competitive situation, and how much that experience is going to pay off for them, or they'll be able to overcome their sort of lack of experience and play with confidence and be very productive.
I just want to ask you, how much has Mo Smith's departure kind of altered your plan for that secondary, especially with regard to where Minka is and how you want to utilize him?
Well, I think that what we're focused on is the guys that we have in the secondary right now, and we were out there working with them every day, and we're going to try to put the best parts together that we can. And we've got some young guys that I think can be really good players, but it's a work in progress to sort of get those guys to know and understand not only what we do, but all the adjustments that they have to make to what other teams, do when we play them. And it's going to be important that some of these young guys provide us the kind of depth that we need, and there's a lot of opportunity for these guys to play. And I think they're working hard and focused on it and making improvement every day. So, but it's too early to tell, how it's going to all fall into place for us. we got lots of practices left before that first game, and hopefully some of these guys will sort of be able to get enough knowledge and experience in this practice time that they're confident enough to go out there and contribute in a role for us to help us win.
Mink, what does his versatility sort of bring to this defense, being able to play both corner and star?
Well, last year he just had to play star. He never really had to play much corner. This year he's having to do both. I'd like for a guy not to have to do that. I'd like to have a guy that could play corner or a guy that could play star, so that guy is always sort of playing one position. I'm not sure we have the luxury to do that at this point, right now, relative to the players that we have available. So he may have to do that. And he's very versatile. He's bright. He's smart. He's very conscientious. Works hard every day. So if there's anybody who can do it, I think he's certainly the right kind of guy to do it. And, that may be how we end up this year.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you.